wine buying experiences. Everything from private events such as this to corporate events. If your company is interested in hosting a wine evening, we can do that for you at your office or a location like this or somewhere else. We do wine buying trips to Bordeaux, where we take very, very small groups of our top clients to visit the chateaus.
Can we squeeze these people through?
Yeah, sorry. We get...
We got to see otherwise.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks. Access to rare collections and wine investment portfolios. So we are based here in Hong Kong with about 1,500 clients across Asia, mainly Hong Kong, Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, mainland China, and soon to be probably Vietnam as well. And we manage about $50 million worth of assets for our clients. These are our partners. We do wine events with them. A lot of our clients work at these companies. So just to start, what is an investment grade wine? Somebody really wants to know. So it's perfect timing. Welcome. So what is an investment grade wine? More than 99% of the wine in the world is consumption wine, what you're having tonight. The top 1% of wine that we consider investment grade is really focused on the region of Bordeaux. Why Bordeaux? Because Bordeaux has the brands, it has the price appreciation history, and it has the longevity. Bordeaux wines are built from top vintages to last 50 to 75 years. So why invest in fine wine? I'll just go through some of the main reasons that our clients have got involved. Some of them are here tonight, so if you're interested in talking to some of our clients, we can introduce you as well. It is a 15 to 17% net annual return per year. It is a physical asset in your control and no tax, obviously, here in Hong Kong and anywhere in the world, actually. Short to medium term investment, so 3 to 5 year outlook with a growing global demand. And for most people these days, I don't know if you'd agree, but it's a tough climate for investors. Property prices in Hong Kong are still going up with a lot of pressure from the government to potentially go down. Stock markets are still very volatile. Other asset classes are also difficult to assess. But wine is one that is continually growing. So a little bit of information about Bordeaux, the exceptional vintages, 2009, 2010 were the last exceptional vintages that we had. All the wines that we deal with are in original wooden cases, and it needs to be stored in professional storage facilities. So I think all of you know, living here, in case you didn't, Hong Kong is the only duty-free, tax-free wine hub in the whole world. Wine market by the numbers. So 9 out of 10 is what it says there. In a study done last year in mainland China, they tested 1,000 bottles of Lafite. 9 out of 10 were fake. Shows you what the market is like up there. Last year, about $480 million worth of wine was sold through auction globally. And when I say globally, I'm only talking about New York, London, and Hong Kong was the only auction sites in the world. Hong Kong contributed 230 million of that, so almost more than London and New York combined. If you go back to 2008, the Hong Kong the amount of wine sold in Hong Kong through auction was 0. So in just a small amount of time, you can see how much the market has really grown. According to Credit Suisse Wealth Management Report, there's approximately 964,000 millionaires in mainland China today, people who have at least $1 million in net assets. That number is projected to double in the next 4 years. According to the mainland China import government department, 200 million liters of wine was imported into mainland China in the first 6 months of 2012. Estimated value at 1.1 billion pounds. That's an increase of 24% by value and 12% by quantity. It means more wine is going into China and more expensive wine is going into China. Lastly, according to the intelligence report, Wine Intelligence Report, there are currently only 20 million consumers of imported wine in mainland China. That represents 1.5% of the population. So still, obviously, lots and lots of room to grow. They expect the number of consumers of foreign wines to grow 4 times in the next 7 to 8 years. These are the first growth chateaus. If you can't see them, don't worry about them. You've heard the names before. Lafite, Latour, Mouton, Margaux, Haut-Brion. What's interesting is to note the production numbers, the annual production. In Bordeaux, governed by French law, each chateau can only produce between 10 and a maximum of 20,000 cases per year. That's been the same for the last 200 years. It will be the same for the next 200 years. That's an important point. Why is that an important point? Because at the end of the day, wine investment comes down to very simple supply and demand. If you forget everything I say tonight, which is most likely, try to remember one thing after all the wine and everything is settled. Wine investment fundamentally comes down to very simple supply and demand. On one side, you have a luxury commodity with a fixed supply that's decreasing every year as people drink it. And on the demand side, you have an ever-growing number of high net worth individuals, especially here in Asia, that are consuming these wines. It's that imbalance between supply and demand that makes prices go up over the long term. That's basically what we're taking advantage of. So I won't go through all the details of exit strategies. Myself and the rest of the Platinum Wines team will be around to talk you through the details, but we have 6 different exit strategies for once you get involved in wine investment, how do you obviously get out and make money. So corporate clients, we sell a lot of wine into mainland China, China Construction Bank, etc., that buy a lot of wine for gift giving, corporate events, etc. Fine wine funds, we sell wine into funds. Online auctions, most of you probably heard about the auction that happened this last weekend. Our former chief executive, Henry Tang, sold about 48 million Hong Kong dollars worth of wine in one auction. It was 100% of what he put out there, and basically the value of what he received was 60% higher than the reserve price for his auction. So not that he needed the money, but he just made a whole lot more. Private collectors, our clients obviously in our database, as well as wholesalers. What are the risks? As with any asset class, of course, there are risks. Short-term volatility. Ironically, wine is not a liquid asset. Even though it is technically a liquid, it's not easy to trade, on the same day, such as, a share or equity, etc. So something to be, something to be aware of. Counterfeit wine. Can we keep that a little open so it stops? Yeah, thanks. Counterfeit wine. So as I talked about, there's a lot of counterfeit wine in China. You have to be careful who you're buying your wine from. And we recommend for a lot of our clients, they buy the wines directly from the chateau. They buy young vintages that are coming directly from the chateau, all sealed in original wooden cases with all the paperwork, so you know what you're buying is real and authenticated. It's very, very important. Of course, macroeconomic demands have an effect. So it's hard to see this chart. I won't go through it too much. This is basically the LiveX Fine Wine Index. It's showing the prices of wine from 2005. 2005 to now we're over here. So you saw this is basically where China entered the market. 2008 was the recession. The wine market basically enjoyed about 2 years of straight growth, which was a huge expansion period, which no doubt was followed by a price correction. So in the last 1 year, we've seen prices come down, now stable over the last 6 months, and starting to improve again. But if you look at the trend line, we're still moving generally in an upward direction, and that's what we're interested in, is over a 5-year period, how did the wine perform? And in the history of wine investment, there has never been a 5-year period with a negative return. It's never happened. Any 5-year period for any wine investment portfolio has never had a negative return over a 5-year period. This, if you can't read, no worries, but this is a study done by Forbes magazine, linking the wine investment market, which is in red, to the number of billionaires in the world, which is in green. And I think you can see that obviously there's a very strong correlation between the amount of fine wine that's consumed and the number of billionaires that are driving up the price. where does this wine go? This is a study done by the Huron Report in mainland China, looking at high net worth individuals and ultra high net worth individuals, people who have 25 million in assets, US and above. What do they give? What are the gifts? So number 1 is watches, number 2 is red wine, then electronics, import alcohol. For ultra high net worth, wine is the number 1 gift, accounting for over 15% of what ultra high net worth individuals gift to other business colleagues, family, friends, etc. That's where this wine is going at the end of the day, and that trend is continuing. What's the fee structure? Again, I'll let the Platinum team go through it in detail, but it's very reasonable. 650 Hong Kong to transport the wine from Bordeaux to Hong Kong. 300 Hong Kong dollars per case per year to store the wine at Crown Wine Cellars, and then we charge a 5% brokerage fee if you then sell the wine through us. There are no annual fees, there are no early exit fees, etc. So, in summary, we believe it is, and most people agree, it's the beginning of a long-term wine boom, definitely with mainland China, of course, being the big story, but really South America, Eastern Europe, and India, other growth markets that we have our eye on as well, and are starting to open up. Supply is limited, as I mentioned before. If you remember one thing, remember that supply is limited, demand is increasing. Market average is 15 to 17% net return annually over the last 20 years. And Platinum Wines, we offer a full range of wines, everything from boutique drinking wines you're having today to the very top end, Chateau Lafite, DRC, Petrus, etc. And we provide all kinds of different services, from portfolio management to events such as this to high-end Bordeaux buying trips. So that's my summary. I apologize, I know it's difficult in the back to see everything, but hopefully you could hear me a little bit and you have a copy of the presentation to take home with you. Definitely stick around and enjoy more of the wines. Myself, Anthony is here, Keith and Alex, if you guys want to just raise your hands, as well as Karen. We're all around if you have any questions or want to discuss potentially starting a portfolio. We do believe now is a good time. If I said in summary, basically what I've been involved in the wine market now for almost 10 years, what I've seen is in 2005 we saw China really have an impact and prices continue to go up. 2008 we had a correction, and then again another boom, and then 2011 we had another correction, and then the cycle continues. So in terms of timing, which an investment is all about, we believe strongly now is one of the best times to get involved since, I would say, about January of 2009. That was the last time I saw the market conditions this favorable, and you can tell by the auctions happening in Hong Kong, the continued demand from mainland China, as well as new markets opening up all over the world. This is something that's new and definitely something that's here to stay and continue to grow over the next 10 years and beyond. So thank you again for coming. On behalf of Platinum Wines, please enjoy the wine and the food, and we will continue to be around if you have any questions. So thank you.
これなんですよ。でもまあ歩けるようになられたんですよ。
まあ歩けるっていうかこれがないとまだ。
これ
ああさっきまでちょっと撮ってたんですよ。